major shock at this tournament. South Africa's Women's World Cup hopes would be hanging by a thread, which would be a shame after a decent display in 2023. And the first touch for Ciro Wedrogo. And here's Bambanani Mbane, who scored South Africa's equaliser, the centre-back against Tanzania, but then undone in the 87th minute by the East Africans, who celebrated their first ever win at the tournament. Karabo Dlamini started the tournament playing at left-back, but she's come inside today to play more centrally, which she has done on several occasions, many times for both club, Mamelodi Sundowns and country. And here is Rosamond Kouassi showing real intent in the early stages. Goes down under the challenge from Antonia Maponya. Both full-backs having been brought in today. And South Africa will have the free kick after Bongeka Gamede was fouled, and well, Gamede will know the likes of Wedrogo and Ruth Seri well, given that they all play for the same club in Denmark, Nordsjælland. Kaylin Swart back in the side. For so long she's had a battle with Dlamini about who is South Africa's #1. And they've often taken it in terms, although it's been Dlamini's prize in recent times. But 2022, when South Africa won at AFCON for the first and only time, Dlamini was between the sticks and named goalkeeper of the tournament. Then just a year later, Swart was starting every game for South Africa at the Women's World Cup. Go back to the last AFCON, it was Dlamini again, and Dlamini having started in the first game, well, dropped today, and Swart back in. Constant mini soap opera at the base of the South African defence. Here is Gamede, something of an unfamiliar defensive midfield role. I imagine we may see some caution from Banyana in these early stages. They'll be wary of the threat that the Ivorians can bring. And they will certainly be very, very wary about not coming away from this game with at least a point, and obviously preferably more. Linda Modlalo, first real touch for her. And down the line. But there was an offside earlier in the move, and Magia and Maponya will not be able to make any more ground down the left-hand side. There is Antonia Maponya, one of several in the squad who play for the University of Western Cape, or UWC ladies. Both fullbacks for South Africa today, doing exactly that. Jane recently went past 150 caps for South Africa. Gamede has been brought in the defensive midfield area to push both Jane and Motlalo a little bit further forward, a feeling that South Africa are a little bit slow, a little bit ponderous in midfield in their first game. And that'll be a corner, and a very cheap one as well, that has gone South Africa's way. Unnecessarily conceded. Tembi Kitlala on your screen, the 2018 CAF Women's Footballer of the Year. Really good to see her back at the tournament after she missed out last time around and then injury deprived her of the playing time she'd have wanted when South Africa won the tournament 4 years ago. Dlamini with the corner over on that far side for South Africa. Penalty area. And it breaks free almost. And it's a little bit scrappy. And eventually, Aramatu Diakite, the Ivorian goalkeeper, gets her hands on the ball. As you can see, that clearance didn't go in the white headband. Maponya. Closely marshalled by Kwasi. Well, this is the first of 2 games in Group B today, with Tanzania looking to build on that stunning victory over South Africa in just under 3 hours. The game kicking off at 2000 GMT as they take on Burkina Faso, who talked a good game before the tournament but found it tough going on match day 1. Amani. Gamedi cutting that out and looking to play in Sesane, who cannot find Jane. Wasn't on the same wavelength at all from Anastasi Bayi. Can hit a pass from distance, not on that occasion. Maponya. Throw going Ivory Coast's way. Static in front of Dlamini and Mbane. Sure, they're hoping for a little bit more movement. It is a hot day in the sun here in Casablanca. And I'm sure that'll be affecting how the players approach the game. It should ease considerably in local time here. 10 minutes past 6 in the evening. And by the time second half kicks off, it should be considerably cooler. Well, Magia with the foul. Push from behind on Kwasi. Big long throw forward. Kwasi just trying to lift it over Maponya. Kwasi, based with Washington Spirit in the United States. Can be a very tricky customer on her day. Fofana with the throw again. A little push in there from Wedrogo. Was indeed spotted, and South Africa will have the free kick. But there is physicality up top in the presence of Wedrogo and Kwasi. Swat forward into Gamedi, who cannot control it, and Ivory Coast can pick this up. Kwasi just couldn't get the first touch right. Lamini will recover, and Wedrogo just muscled off it. Player down. Magia. Katlana yet to really get any quality ball to feet up front for South Africa. Meaning Ivory Coast would be pretty happy with the way they've started, and they're going forward now, looking for the opening goal of the game. It's not going to come like that, though. Well, Rebecca, hello, remonstrating with the fact that her intended target wasn't making the move she wanted. Elo can equally take some of the blame. Not reading the movement in front of her. Well, this is the 5th AFCON in charge for Desiree Ellis, the long-standing South Africa coach. Every time she has got to at least the semi-finals. Fofana again with the big throw. She really does put plenty in that. Wedrogo does really well to ride the challenge space on the left-hand side. Chance here for Ivory Coast, and they cannot take it. Well, it was put on a plate, and yet unable to profit. Excellent approach play from Wedrogo. Elo getting very, very underneath it. And that was a really very good opportunity for the Ivorians. Really well worked, as said by Sira Wedrogo, the youngster. And Elo, who opened the scoring against Burkina Faso on Monday, admittedly from the penalty spot. Unable, as of now, to repeat the feat. I think that's going to be a free kick going South Africa's way for the physicality of the challenge by Amani on Gamedi. Thought about it a little, the Congolese official. And I think there was a bit more contact just before. Well, she doesn't think much was wrong. Amani, 28 years of age. Gets to a lot of work in that midfield. A real leader of this Ivorian team. Sassani leaves it to Dlamini. Oh, the keeper gathers, but not convincingly. Diakite flapped at it a little, but nonetheless, the Ivorians are coming clear. That's lovely ball down the middle of the pitch and an early action effort on goal, and a brilliant goal. Well, that was defence to attack in the blink of an eye, and Ruth Seri, to the delight of coach Reynald Petros, has given the Lady Elephants the lead. And that was blistering football right through the middle of the pitch. And it was this pass here into Seri, and look at that, one touch, guiding it past Swart. Through the heart of the South African defence, and just a couple of moments after failing to take a glorious opportunity through Hello. Well, it is Hello because the Ivorians lead, and very nicely as well. Ruth Seri, one of the rising stars of Ivorian football, has a very first goal at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Will it be the first of many for the 18-year-old? Found, it must be said, by her fellow 18-year-old teammate Wedroogo. And that was a thrilling charge. Oh, this is exactly what South Africa would have been keen to avoid. Kalana feeding on scraps at present. They're battling and fighting. Does she win the corner? She does. Well, they caused a problem from the last one. And they do so again from here. Well, they fell behind against Tanzania. They've fallen behind against the Ivorians. Ellis patrolling her area right on the corner, watching on, hands on hips. Sure, some nerves in there as well. And once again, it's the same sort of idea for South Africans in and around the penalty spot. Dlamini again with the delivery. And a free header for Gamede. She cannot get over it. And in a game of few chances for Banyana, I think they'll be disappointed that that sailed high over the crossbar when unmarked. There was a bit of confusion about which way that free kick was going. In the end, it's gone South Africa's way. Magia, the player, ultimately adjudged to have been fouled. Mbane looking for Sassani. Amani spreading it out to Fofana. And to Connacht. Hello on the left side, where Drogo and Connacht in the middle. Kwasi ghosting in as well. Jane with a header away. Fofana now, trying to keep on the pressure, but apologises that getting that. There's real fluidity in attack for this Ivorian side. Lots of players can get into dangerous positions. Desiree Ellis hasn't moved from her position, the South Africa coach. Desperate to see some sort of response, and well, there could have been one there from Jane. Trying her luck from distance on the half volley. 33 years of age now, the South Africa skipper. Had the honour of lifting the trophy itself in 2022 along with Janine van Wyk. So long a feature of this Banyana side, a former Milan player. There's Sesane, who's yet to get into the game, the Mamelodi Sundowns player. She can bring a level of unpredictability to her play in South Africa's, but struggling so far to get involved. Well, Catalana wondered if she was offside. Not so, according to the assistant referee. South Africa will have the throw-in. Lamini. Kamede. Run back by Kwasi. Fofana. Well, there's a hard up in play because the player is down. And no hesitation from the Congolese to stop the play so that Bailly can recover. Anastasi Bailly plays with ASEC Mimosas at home in Ivory Coast, based in Abidjan. Famous club. Who, after seeing their men's team make waves on the African continent for so long and winning continental glory, well, now that women's team are starting to follow suit as well. A drop ball. And Ivory Coast get us back underway. Well, they could be on the verge of making it to the quarterfinals, the Ivorians, for a tournament that they didn't even qualify for. In the qualification campaign, they met the Senegalese, and after both legs ended goalless, it went to penalties. Drogo, deep delivery, sails over everybody, including Swart. But meeting South Africa will bring back fond memories for Ivory Coast, because it was in 2014, the last time the Lady Elephants were at the tournament before this year, and at that championship in Namibia, well, Ivory Coast met South Africa in the third place playoff. At the time, just 3 teams from Africa went through to the Women's World Cup. And in that meeting, the only one between the sides ever at the AFCON, it was the Ivorians who won by a single goal scored late on to ensure that they qualified for the Women's World Cup for the one and only time in their history. They're in behind here. Wedrogo, options in the middle again, but she can't get past Lamini. Solid defending, nice touch from Gianni. She'll pick it up again. Let's move, you can hear the cry from the South African dugout. Mbane, looking for Katlana. Lamini to Motlalo. Kamedi. Laponia. Motlalo caught as she made the pass and just nursing her ankle. Play sportingly held up by both sides effectively, even though Banyana were the ones on the ball to allow Linda Motlalo to get back up on her feet. Katlana, well, very much looked like a push on her opposite number. Duly recognised. A bit of a frustrating afternoon so far for the 30-year-old. Fairly needless push on Bailly. And as the half hour approaches, a hydration break, which we got very used to seeing at the recently concluded Men's World Cup. Here it is being conducted rather differently, not a blanket approach, whereby every game, even ones in air-conditioned stadiums, have a cooling break. Instead, it is whether the temperatures require it. Various criteria have to be met for that to happen, and as I said, it is a hot day today here in Casablanca, and hence the break. Well, we saw on countless occasions during the World Cup how the momentum of matches changed after a hydration break, and the team in desperate need of seeing something different than the South Africans. Well, what a moment for Ruth Seri. Talking to some of the coaching staff of Ivory Coast before the game, praising the amount of talent she has. And she certainly showed some of it there. 18 minutes on the clock. And the deadlock was broken. And the Ivorians, good value for their lead so far. We saw Wedrogo deliver a powerful free kick from here just a few moments ago. Put a little bit too much on it, but he's heading in the right area. Another less powerful delivery. May well find some of the players lining up on the far side of the penalty area. Droga again. Well, she's done exactly the same thing on this occasion. Swart catches it though. Manages, I was going to say, to keep it in play, but no, a corner has been awarded. Or is the feeling that the ball, well, it's been given as a goal kick, which doesn't seem to make too much sense, as I thought Swart wanted to catch that before the ball had gone out of play then. And behind the goal line, nonetheless, it's all fairly moot. We're Drogo. Skipping past players as if they're not there. Hello. And still she gets it back. Off Magama. And then into Wedrogo. Upon your away. Modlalo now. We have yet to see Banyana as an attacking force. Here's Katlana. Gets away from Fofana. Jane in the middle. Mejia to her left. Gamede. Little ding forward, looking for Katlana. And the offside flag does now go up. She got it behind Tembi Katlana. You can see she was absolute mile off. Well, Banyana, runners up in that AFCON, and then under pressure again, down the middle again. It's exactly the same scenario as the opening goal that was scored by the very same player. Seri has got a double. Ivory Coast lead by 2 goals to 0, and are South Africa about to suffer the biggest shock they've had at the AFCON in recent times, because they are going to have to do something very different from here. They are being pulled apart. They are not looking threatening in attack, and that is quite the contrast to the Lady Elephants, who are trampling all over Banyana. Swung, come out again in no man's land, no woman's land. Well, having come, she didn't need to stop, and that was surely the error she made. Compounding the early decision to come out. And look at that from Seri. Coolness personified. And she has now got 2 goals at the tournament to become the Ivorians' joint top scorer, along with Ines Connaught, who we've yet to see too much of in this game. And that will be a little bit of a worry for South Africa as well. But these balls through the centre of defence are causing a lot of problems. Dlamini brought in today from left back to try and tighten that up. The Ivory Coast have driven a couple of buses through there in this opening half. And the former African champions are in real trouble. If there is optimism to take, it's that although the Ivorians always score in their games at AFCON, they've never failed to. They don't keep too many clean sheets, just 2 from their 9 games so far. Here's Katlana, Seri, Connaught. Confidence surely coursing through this Ivorian side. Seri, space out on the left if she wants to use it with Elo, and she does. And even the left back for the Ivorians getting forward. Nice football from the Lady Elephants again. Connaught in the middle, so too Wedrogo. And the delivery from Yapo, who hasn't really got too far forward in this game at all. not enough. And it stays South Africa 0, Ivory Coast 2. Chane, Magia, given away. Fairly so. There just seemed to be some physical contact in there and little more. Chane. Yapo. Fofana away. Not a penny for the thoughts of Desiree Ellis. After Swart beaten, stranded on ball. Showing us what she's all about there. Solid challenge, an important one too from Gamede. To stop by the Ivorian skipper to dispossess South Africa's. Through the area of the pitch by the South Africans. Maponya. Little mountain. Amani breaking it up again. And that's what she has been so good at. Giving the platform to the likes of Elo, Wedroogo, Connaught, Kwasi. And Seri as well to come forward. Well, they were concerned before the game about being a little slow, as said earlier. And at times South Africa in danger of falling into the same trap. They have just struggled to get going. There'll be 4 minutes of additional time. And how they could do with something before the break. Well, will they get it here? Sasane. Foul to the dismay of Seri. And there is the player that Swart replaced, lining this up. Bongeka Gamede. Straight into Amani. Off the Ivorians go again. She's recovered really well, Gamede, to stop Wedroogo, who then pulled the South African back. excellent resilience from the 27-year-old. Mane again with the clearance, only as far as Gamede. Sassane. Doing that, eating up the ground. And trying to skip her way past Lamini. A little over-ambitious in the end from Sira Wedrogo. We've certainly seen plenty of her power. She had to go a long way round, and it was well read by Mbane as well, who came to help out Lamini. No defender wants to see pacey, powerful wide players running at them. And yet that is exactly the threat that Wedrogo brings. Seri looked like a hand, but the referee played the advantage. Covers the ground really quickly in midfield, Seri. Smart, slowing it down. They surely want to get a move on. Less than a minute to go to the half-time whistle. South Africa have been bossed. And they've got numbers forward again. Well, a better pass there. Wedrogo would have been in. And Connell did have time as well. Katlana. Jane. Looking again for Tembi Katlana. Uses her body well on this occasion. Well, they avoid conceding the corner.
Kwenye dakika 45 za kipindi cha kwanza, dakika ambazo zinamwacha amechoka mlinda mlango ni kocha mkuu, lakini dakika ambazo mlinda mlango anapaswa kukimbia haraka kwenda kutathmini nini kilimfanya, nini kilimsibu. Huyo hapa superstar katika dakika 45 za kwanza, Grace Seri ambaye ameiangamiza Afrika Kusini. Ni half time kwenye dakika 45 za kipindi cha kwanza. Afrika Kusini 0, Cote d'Ivoire 2. Wakati wote mimi ni superstar wa zamani Issa Sule.